how does your awareness of God impact you as a leader? In this month of Ramadan, Muslims fasted, and while you were fasting, you kept in mind that Allah, God, sees you, He hears you, because the day you're fasting, you are thirsty, you're hungry, but you don't go into your basement after coming back from work and take a sip of water, or you don't go play basketball and drink some Gatorade. You don't do that. You don't sneak in a small little lunch in between. The day you're fasting, you know that no matter who knows, whether you're a family member or a friend or imam in the masjid, just because they don't know doesn't mean you're going to go and you're going to drink or water, or you're going to eat some food. You know that fasting, you are doing it for God, and no matter where you are, God sees you, God hears you. And that's the lesson that you got from Ramadan, and you are getting as you're fasting. So your throat tells you, and it's dry, is telling you drink. Your stomach is is saying get some water, get some food, but you don't budge, because you know that Allah sees you, Allah hears you. I wouldn't know if you came to me and it doesn't say on your forehead that you're fasting, right? Even if you went to Dunkin' Donuts and got yourself some coffee, I wouldn't know that. But the day you're fasting, you keep that in mind, and you have that awareness. So now, once you have that awareness that Allah sees you, Allah hears you, now that impacts you as a leader. Because it's strange enough, in that passage of the Quran where Allah says, that ya alladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam, that fasting has been prescribed. Very interesting enough, the page right after, God says, wala ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil batil, don't consume the property of others unjustly. So he's talking about fasting, Ramadan. All of a sudden he talks about business transaction and being ethical in your business transaction. Why? Because if in Ramadan you learn the lesson of being fully conscious of God, and that God sees you, God hears you, then it will change you as a leader. It will change you as a volunteer. It will change you as a parent. It will change you as a son, as a daughter. Because now, as a leader, you're now aware that Allah sees me, Allah hears me. So as a politician, you're not just worried about the polls. You're not just worried about your constituents. Yeah, of course, you're worried about serving your constituents. But beyond that, you know that you are liable to God. You're liable to the Supreme Being. And as the president of your MSA, you know that if people doesn't find out, or if you don't get in trouble with the school, it wouldn't matter, because ultimately you're not just answering to your board or to the people that show up at your events. You're answering to God. So that changes your mindset about things. It changes the way you look at things. And so that being aware of God changes you as a leader. Now you try to do your best, not for people, but because you know that Allah sees me, Allah hears me, the divine, the one that I have a relationship with, He sees me, He hears me. And so you put your best effort out there. And then you know that anytime you can do something shady, you don't. You don't need 10-point ethical form and sign that for you to do the best and make sure you keep within the ethics and boundaries. You knowing that God sees you, God hears you, you are the most liable person. You're the most ethical person, because you know that Allah's camera is on me. Maybe my emails are deleted, my Snapchats expires, but man, my account with God doesn't expire. And so it changed you as a leader. So in this Ramadan, as you went through this training of knowing that Allah sees me, Allah hears me, and you got this awareness of God in your life, it will now change you forever as a leader to yourself, and how you deal at work. And your manager is not at work, it doesn't matter. You are aware Allah sees me, and so you're going to put your best productivity even in your office. As a family member, you know that it's not just about keeping everybody happy. Also, am I giving the rights that everyone deserves? Because Allah sees me, Allah hears me. It changes you as a person. It takes you beyond just regular, person-to-person interaction and being nice to people because you would want them to be nice to you. Well, that's great. That works well in the days you're doing okay. But even when you are, in a bad mood, you still got to know that Allah sees me, Allah hears me. So it changes as a person, changes you as a politician, changes you as a masjid board member, changes you as a student, changes you as someone in your campus. It just changes the way you look at things. You don't go too extreme in one direction. You are reliable. You make sure you keep your words and commitments, not because it's going to look bad, but because Allah sees me, Allah hears me. So take this a lesson of awareness of Allah into the rest of your life. and it will change you, the way you do things, the way you view things, the way you think.